Hello everybody, this is Howard the Teaser King coming to you and just going to talk a little bit about teasers and really how to win betting teasers. I think there's a misnomer about, oh, they're weak plays or they're gimmicky plays, you can't win with them. Well, that's like playing the stock market and not knowing what you're doing. You're probably not going to win at that either. So it's imperative that you understand what exactly it is that you're playing and how to play it. I use a lot of different methods to pick. Sometimes I bet a team after a loss. Sometimes I bet revenge games. At the end of the day, I'm still looking for the matchup. The revenge game or the game after a loss just means the team's motivated. But if you lose to Alabama and you're going to play them again the next year and it's a revenge game, you're not going to beat them, especially if you're Michigan State or LSU or half the South SEC. You can beat a weaker team. If you lose and get upset, that's kind of what you look for. But when betting, first of all, you got to know your bankroll. Then you got to break it into units. So if you have a $1,000 bankroll, it's $20, $30 units. Now, here's the beauty of teasers. You're looking to get, obviously, certain points. Under 3, over 7, over 10, under 14, depending on what the line is. But the beauty of a teaser is let's say you play a two-team teaser. Once you get the first half in, so you got, I don't know, Cincinnati, and you played it with Denver, okay? Cincinnati wins. They won the other night. Now you got Denver. Well, you can either just play the game. Let's say you bet 100 on it. So you bet 110 to win 100. So you're risking 110. But you don't have to risk 110. You can risk less than that. And you can either win or lose less, or you can win more, but you can't lose more. Well, what the hell are you talking about, Howard? It doesn't make sense. Okay, so let's look at this. Let's say Denver is laying 2.5, not 3. So your teaser is Cincinnati -1, Denver plus 3.5 for 110 to win 100. So now let's say, so Cincinnati's won. So now on Sunday I could play Tampa. Let's say I can get a 3 on them, plus 3. Now, if the game's close at all, and let's say I bet 55 to win 50. So I'm minimizing my risk. So now if Denver plus 3.5 wins, then I win. And I win 100. And I'll lose 55 on Tampa and Tampa getting 3 if Denver wins and wins by more than, well, no. Yeah, wins by more than 3. I'll lose the 55 on Tampa, win the 110, I'll win the 100, and I win 45. So now I don't win 100. I either win 45 if Denver does what it's supposed to do, or it loses and Tampa wins. You know, I win 50 on Tampa and I lost 110. I've lost 60, not 110. But here's the beauty. Let's say Tampa wins by 3. Let's say let's make it Tampa wins by 2. So now your Tampa plus 3 wins. You win 50, but they only won by 2. So Denver plus the 3.5 you did on the teaser also wins. So now I win 100 and I win 50. I win 150. I'm either going to win normally. Let's say 7 times out of 10, it doesn't track. Denver wins by 10, Tampa loses, and you get, so you win your 100 in your teaser. You lose your 55 trying to trap it, so you win $45. That's what's going to happen most of the time. Occasionally, and so if you notice, you can't lose 150. It's impossible as long as the Cincinnati part has come through. That's done. Now you're done. Now you've got that one part of the teaser done. Now it's the second part's the winner. Now this is the only time you can trap is once the first team is in, or if you played a multiple, like a 6 or 7 team teaser. So you played a 7-team teaser and the first 6 teams win. Now you just got the 7th team, now you can trap. That's the only time you can trap. So now, most likely now, you can go and, most likely you're going to win the $45. You're going to win the 100 on Denver because you got 3.5. The trends are on Denver, they look good and they're getting 3.5 and it's Denver. Most of the time you're gonna win your $100 bet, you'll lose the 55 on Tampa. Once in a while you lose your teaser for 110 and you win your 50 and you only lose 60. So now instead of losing 110, you either win 45 or you lose 60. Occasionally, about 3 out of 10 times, you hit them both and you win the 150. So you're willing to lighten your risk. This is if you want to lighten your risk. So I can't afford to lose the 110. So now the worst I'm going to do is if I lose the 110, I win 50, I lose 60. So now my worst case is I lose 60. Probably I win 45 and I could win 150. So you see, I can't lose 150, but I could win 150. And more than likely, instead of winning the 110, I win the 45 because the 6 points helps you a great deal. And I always have arguments with people, you don't need the 6 points after the game's over and the team wins by 30 and I picked it right and then I hear, well, I didn't need the 6 points. Yeah, but I'm betting now. I'm not betting after the game's over. If I'm betting after the game's over, it's really easy. I could hit probably 99% of my games if I bet them after the game's over. So you're making the bet before the game. Theoretically, what you want is like a team that is getting 8. This is the best traps. So let's say Denver's laying 8. Well, who's laying a big number in the pros? Yeah, there probably isn't anybody. Let's say it's Washington. Washington's playing Cleveland. Let's say they're laying 7.5. So there is, you tease Cincinnati with Washington minus 1.5. And it's apropos to trap the better lines, the 7s or the over the 10 or the under the 3. So in this case, you're teasing 7.5 down to 1.5 for your $110 to win 100. Now you got the first half in with Cincinnati, so now Washington's playing Miami. You get Miami in 7.5. Now your odds of winning are probably 50-50 that Washington wins by 2, 3, 4, 6, or 7, because those are all very live numbers. The 3-3 is really hard because you can't win 0, and the odds on winning by 1 are so slim just because of the way the scoring goes that you figure it's usually you're going to win by 3, and that's why it's hard to do a 3 on a trap. So if you can get a 7.5 down to 1.5, so all they got to do is win by 2 or more, and you win. And here you're getting 7.5 with Miami. Now the odds on winning that 150 have gone from maybe 3 and 10 to probably 6 and 10 because you got the numbers. So that's what you want to do. My most meaningful trap. Now, I talked about a 2-team teaser. That's to take risk off of it. So if you really want to get aggressive, you can bet 1,000. So you bet 1,100 to win 1,000 on the teaser. So same thing. Now you come back with 550 to win 500. You don't have to do 550. You could do 440, whatever your risk barrier is. So you might only want to put 300 on it because you really love that teaser and you think it's going to win. You know, Washington minus 1.5. I already got Cincinnati in. That's going to win. Or maybe you're having a bad day and you don't want to lose more. Or maybe you're having a good day and you want to make sure you quit a winner. And that's the most important thing in gambling is to quit a winner. Meaning you get up. Once you get up, you don't lose it all back. You keep part of it. And you keep trying to win more, but you lock up certain amounts. So all right, I'm up 500. There's no way I'm not winning 300. And you play the other 200, you lock away the 3. And this week, worst I'm doing is 3, but if the other 200 win, you can win 600 or 700, and you just keep going on it. So anyway, So you could do 1100 to win 1000, and then you do the same thing. Let's say you do 440 to win 400 on Miami. You got a good number. Now I can win 1400. I could win 560, or I would only lose 700. So depending on your flavor. And that's why you can go 300, 400, 500 on the trap game. So the teaser's in for 1000, 1100 at risk to win the 1000. Maybe you want to bet 550 to win 500 on the other way, and that cuts. So if you lose the 1100, you win the 5, you only lose 600. Your odds are pretty good that you could actually win the 1500. You win the 1000 and the 500. So that's the beauty of it. You can win both bets, but you can't lose both bets because one of them has to win, and therefore one of the bets has to win. Again, it's provided the first team won. Once the first team wins, you can trap all day. You can trap that second team, and the way to trap it is you bet the other team straight. You don't tease the other team. Once you got Washington in, or the Cincinnati in, you got Washington laying 1.5. You take Miami in 7.5. One of them has to win. Either Washington wins by 10 and you win that, or Miami pulls the upset and you lose the teaser and you win with Miami inside. You have to win one of the bets. That's the beauty of it. So now you won't win as much. If you lose the teaser, you at least bail out with the 500. You probably will win the teaser because they're 7.5 point favorites down to 1.5 for a reason. So you've got them by the balls because you've got that 6 point difference, and you have a 6 point trap. I mean, I know guys in Vegas that trap at like 2 points with straight bets. You know, they'll bet it at 2.5. It goes up to 3.5. They take the other team plus 3.5. That's why you'll see it frozen at 3, because they don't want to lose both ways, because people will bet 2.5 and then take the other team in 3.5, and they don't care. They just, okay, I'll probably break even, I'll lose juice, but in that time when they win by 3, I win them both, and it's a very common number. So they look for that 6.5, 7.5, 2.5, 3.5, and that's just a 1 point trap. Here I'm giving you 6 point traps. So that's the advantage of it. It's insurance, but you could win both ends. You cannot lose both. One of them has to win, but both of them could win, and both of them cannot lose. So instead of losing 1100 on a teaser, you're only losing 600 on it. That's the point of it. You've built your bankroll up so you can afford to lose the 1100. You're betting 1100. It's a damn near 90% trend that you're betting on in the first place. So more than likely you're going to win the teaser, and you'll get upset you didn't win enough, and you say, oh, why did I trap it? But 5 out of 10 times at that right number, you're going to win the trap, and you're going to go, man, it's great. I trapped a lot. Now, when you have multiple teaser bets, I'm going to do 3 levels here. That was the first level, the 2-team teaser. Now here's like a 5-team teaser. So you got the first, whenever you play a 5-team or 6-team teaser, you should always include the Monday night game in on it. Even if you don't like it or not, that should be added to the teaser. So you love 4 games in college and 1 game in pro. Well, in that situation, you're fine. That's your 5th game. But let's say you play 3 in college and 3 in pro. Add the Monday night game, because you're going to get good odds on it, and you're going to trap it no matter what, even if you like it or not. Because now, if you've won the first 6 games, and let's say the odds are 30 to 1, and you bet $20, you're going to win 600. So you bet 20 to win 600. You've hit your first 6 games. Your 7th game's the Monday night game. We'll go Minnesota. Let's say I think they're 4.5. So you get Minnesota plus 1.5, which is a very good bet anyway. To close the teaser to win, what is it? What did I say? 30 to 1, so $600. And I'm risking 20. Now this is really where the trap is beautiful. So now I take the Giants and the 4.5. It's a good number. You got 2, 3, and 4 that are common numbers that now you can play that are good for the Giants. And you've won your first 6. So now $20 gets me 600 because of the odds. I'm just saying 30 to 1. I don't know what they are off the top of my head. It doesn't matter. It's just for the show here. So now you're like, God, I can only if I lose, I lose 20. I'm going to win 600. Now the best thing the best thing you could possibly do is bet a $300 straight bet on the Giants plus 4.5. Well, why, Howard? I could win 6. Well, because you only risk 20. So maybe you bet 250 on it. But let's just say 3 for this experiment here, this example. I bet 330 to win 3 on the Giants. Now again, it's a trap. I can win both sides, but I can't lose both sides. Now, here's the beauty of it. You bet 330 on the Giants. Let's say the Giants pull the upset and you lose your 17 teaser. You bet 330 to win 300. You've won 300. You've only lost 20. You're ahead 280. Now let's say Minnesota blows them out like they should. They're at home. You win 600 minus the 330. You win $270. You didn't win 600, but you won 270. So maybe you go 220 on it because you're only risking 20. And again, I don't know the odds 30 to 1. They're probably a little less than that. Maybe they're 10 to 1. I don't know. But it's the idea. So now, the worst case scenario is you win the 600, you lose the 330. So you win 270. That's the worst case scenario if you get there, right? If you win your first 5 or 6 games and you're down to the Monday night. The worst case scenario is I'm going to win 270. Now, how many bets do you have where the worst you're going to do is win 270? I don't know of any others. The best case scenario is, so let's say the Giants pull the upset and they beat them and you lose, and they win by 5 and you lose the teaser. So you win 300, you've lost 20, you've won 280. So the first way, Minnesota does the winning, you lose the 330 on the Giants. 600 minus 330 is 270. The other way, the Giants win, you lose the teaser, you win your 330, so you get your 300 minus the 20 you bet on the teaser, you win 280. So one way you win 270, the other way you win 280. Not bad. You're going to win a minimum of $270 for a $20 bet. Where else can you do this? Now, here's the best part. Mini wins by 3. Now again, the Giants you have straight, so you don't have to worry about another teaser. If you push, you get your money back, right? So, but we got 4.5 here. So now what happens, I win 300 on the 330 bet. I win 600 on the $20 bet. I win $900 if they trap it. And you got a good number at 4.5, so they can easily win by 4. They can have a 10-point lead. Giants score late. They win by 3. It's a W. They're up. It's up 3 points, and the Giants, whatever the scenarios are. I'm kind of stumbling here. Let's say they're down 8, they kick a field goal, now that gives them 5. Somehow where they get it to 4, or the Vikings score a late touchdown. The Giants are up 3, the Vikings score late, but they get a touchdown, and they win by 4. Again, it's a W. So now you've won 3 and 6 are 900. Now, so you have 3 scenarios here. You either win 270, you win 280, or you win 900. Tell me what kind of bet you can do that. What other play you can do that would do that for you? There isn't any. That's the beauty of the teaser that nobody understands but Teaser King and a few high-level people. You don't just bet the teaser. I mean, if you won the first half, that's your risk. Once you've got that in and now you got your second half, then you should be trapping that second game a lot, because now you can't lose. You're just going to win less. Well, you're cutting your risk off. If the teaser loses, you're obviously not betting more on the straight play, because if you did, then you would tease them in the straight play. So the idea is the teaser should win because you're getting that 6-point advantage. So the trap, and you don't have to trap every game, but when you get the good number, like in the beginning, you probably aren't trapping. But the trap works well. Let's say you're up $1,000 and you don't want to lose it back, and you got 500 on the teaser. Then you're going to trap the other team, and you're going to make smart traps. I mean, even Green Bay at home against the Lions last week was a trap. You have Green Bay minus 1.5, Lions at 7.5, Lions lose by 7. That's a perfect number to trap. So So that's the idea. And when you play multiple team teasers, 4-team, 5-team, 6-team, you get your odds, and then you about split it. So if it's $20 on a 5-team teaser, and it's going to win you 120, let's say you get 6 to 1. So 20 wins you 120, then you bet about 50 back if you've hit the first 5 games. That 6th game is always a trap. And that's why I'm saying the 6th game should either be the Sunday night game. Well, there's different scenarios. You could play if you play all college, then it could be the late college game, the 10 o'clock West Coast college game. It could be an early pro game. So you got the 5 college in, the 6 one's the pro. Or you do a college pro, then you make sure the 6 one's either the Sunday night game or the Monday night game. You want all the action to be done, and you want one team left, and that's the team you can trap. You can't trap it if you've got 2 games going at 4 o'clock on Sunday, and I'm in the East, so 4 o'clock. I know in the West it's 1 o'clock. So, and my fans in the Ukraine, I don't know what time, it's 7 hours ahead. But what you're looking at is you can't have 2 teams going at once to finish your teaser. To finish like a 6 or 7 team teaser. That's why no matter what, add the Monday night game to it. Because that gives you all day Monday to get the money to bet it. And then just split it in the middle. So if it's 20 to win 300, you're betting 150 on the Monday night game. You can't lose. Well, you know, if the teaser wins, you win. And if the teaser, well, especially if it's a multiple, if it's a 6-game teaser, 20 to win 120, and you hit the first 5, you can't lose. Because the 6 game's now a trap, and all you're betting is 20, and you're going to win 120, so you bet 50. So you either win the 50 and lose the 20, you win 30, or you lose the 55 to win 50, and you win the 120, you win 65. So you either win 65 or 35. You do the math, what you're comfortable to even it out, but you can't lose. You can't lose, especially in these multiple ones, because you're only betting 20 to win 600. You're not betting 600 to win 600. The other note I'm going to make is if you play a college teaser at Winston Hill Casinos in Vegas, there is no juice. So please understand that. So you can play a 6-7 team teaser there, and I would play early games and that one late game, and that one late game's the trap. And it's even better because I can, well, it's a 6 game. I don't have to worry about the juice. But if I'm playing a 2-team teaser, let's say for 500, it's 500 to win 500. So that second game I can play 220 to win 200, and I can stop it. But if I play a multiple team teaser, you never have to lay juice. You're always getting odds there. So I'm just saying that the William Hill, there's 2-team teasers. There's no juice in college. So what you're looking at is to take advantage. I always have, I think I have 20 games played this Saturday. And, you know, it's funny. I had a good week last week. I went 12-7 in college and 8-3 in the pros. But because I lost the lock or 2, people are like freaking out. Like, they have so much confidence in me that they're almost shocked that I lost my locks. And I'm like, I'm trying to understand, like, people, I can't pick 100%. As good as I am, as high as my IQ is, as high as my football IQ is, I can't pick 100%. I'm going to pick about 75%, but I will get hot. Last year, I was on a 30-1 tier, and it ended up with a 45-5 tier. And then I think I lost the game I lost was like Carolina, Atlanta, I think was the lock where I finally lost, but it was like 45-5. So I get in the zone, and I'll rip 90% off for 7-8 weeks. Once I figure it out, it's like a Rubik's Cube. Once I see it and then I figure it out, forget about it. So that's where I'm at now, is I figured it out. I'm seeing the teams where I'm thinking Western Kentucky's still good from last year, and they're not. So now I'm getting off Western Kentucky, and I jump on this year's Western Kentucky. Maybe it's Louisiana Tech. Maybe it's Middle Tennessee's got a good quarterback. Toledo's got a good quarterback. So I'm jumping on those teams. I always want to jump on the good quarterback. But you got to find the good quarterback first. So anyway, once you do that, then let's say you like, so I like 20 games. I could play I play a 15-team teaser with a friend of mine, and basically, if we win, I get percentages of it. I have another friend, we play 5-team parlays, 5-team teasers. Again, I get a small percentage of it. But I hit the 5-team parlay for $1,000. I've hit the 5-team teasers all day. And right now I'm working on hitting this 15-team teaser, which I'm getting close. This could be the week to do it. I have so many games that now I'm focused in that I see, and off I go. So I mean, but the rule I always say to my friends are that 15th team better be the Monday night game. Or if it's college, it better be a Sunday with the 15 team. There better be the last game, better be alone, so we can trap it. And that's always the key to it. So yeah, on a 15, I think he'll win like $2,000 and I'll get a percentage of it. So I mean, all we gotta do is hit one. And if we got, I don't know what it is. Let's say it's 30 to win 2,000. I don't remember. It's not important, but the key is we get there. If we get to that Monday night game or that Sunday game to trap it, we put up, we're gonna win $2,000. You put $1,000 on the game, and we're either gonna win. You either win $1,000 and you lose your 30, or you win $2,000 and you lose $1,000, or you win $3,000. And that's the worst we can do. So I have very different methods to choose the game. That's how I do it. I look at 3 or 4 different methods. I'll look at how they are as like a road dog versus a home favorite versus a bet against road dog. I'll look at revenge games. I look at injuries. How's the quarterback doing after a loss? But I use them all, and I feel when the art of it is to feel if it's good or not. Like I knew Alabama was going to beat Mississippi. I knew it. I know Mississippi's going to beat Memphis. I know it. They're only laying 14.5. I tease it down to 8.5. I know they're going to cover it. I don't know how good Memphis is. They played nobody, and they beat Bowling Green, who's terrible. So I don't get it, but I know Ole Miss. I've seen them against Alabama and Florida State. So that's my point. But so I have all these methods to pick the games. I'm in there. But the key is in this 15-team teaser, that last game is a trap. Always a trap. It's always by itself. And then we're betting half on the one game straight. So here's my story. In Vegas a couple years ago, it's the time when Florida State was winning the national title. I played a 11-team teaser and a 10-team teaser. And it was the week that the pros were locking up the 1 seed and the 2 seed. So the 2 1 seeds had to win. The 2 2 seeds had to win. They get the buys. That's 4 games. There was a bunch of other games that were perfect. And I added 3 college bowl games that I loved. Michigan State to win the Rose Bowl against Stanford, which they did. UCLA with Hudley. And the last game that I left was Florida State, and I had it -1 in a teaser. So I have an 11-game teaser. I don't know. I think it was $30 to win 600 or 700. I had another one, another 20 to win another 600. So the 11-team teaser, I think I'm winning 700. The 10-team teaser, I think I'm winning 600. I'm only betting 30s and 40s. Not even that. I think I bet 20s and 30s or whatever. And then I had them in a few 2-team teasers where I had like Michigan State with Florida State for 150 and a UCLA, Michigan State, Florida State teaser for 200. And I had New England with Florida State for 200. So I have all these teasers, Florida State laying 1, roughly $5,000 in, well, that's what I totally won. I roughly had, let's just say 2,100 of teasers that everything was in. The last game was Florida State. So I go and bet $1,100, and by this time, talk about a trap. Florida State was 7-1 in the beginning. That's why I loved it, because the way Florida State, they were blowing everybody out that year. I said, there's no way they're going to lose. I'm only laying 1 point. I thought there was something wrong with the line. nobody understood Florida State was as strong as they were because they were ACC. But then what happened was Duke blew out somebody, Clemson blew out somebody, and all of a sudden they realized how good Florida State was, because here they blew out Duke and they blew out Clemson, but nobody gave them credit. They didn't think they were that good. Then when Duke and Clemson starts winning, and Florida State had killed these teams. They beat Clemson by 50. They beat Duke by like 40 in the conference championship game. So when that happened, all of a sudden when those teams happened, the line went from 7 up to 11. I think by kickoff it was either 11 or 12. I go ahead and bet 1,100 to win 1,000 on Auburn plus 11. I got Florida State -1, Auburn plus 11. I got 2,100 on Florida State. I got 1,100 on Auburn. So I'm either gonna win the 2,100 minus the grand, but it's not even minus. But it's minus the grand. But a lot of it is 11-team teaser, a 10-team teaser, 3-team teasers. So I'm getting good odds on my. I'm not risking the 2,100. Is my point. I'm risking far less. I mean, what I just told you, the 11 and the 10-team teaser. Were like 600 and 700. That's 1,300. I had a 16 teaser with Florida State. That was another 200 or 300. So basically, it was about so it was 2,100, but maybe risking about 100 on it. So I bet the 1,000. So I'm either going to win 900, or I'm going to win 2,100 minus the 1,100. So I'm going to win 1,000, and I'm winning 4 other 1,000. From all the New England Denvers that I had bet, because it was the 1 seeds needed it, the 2 seeds needed it. So the total trip I win $5,000. So here's $2,000 on that. And so the best scenario is Auburn takes the lead, gets way out in front, but not too far out in front. So I have no pressure. I know, okay, I'll win $1,000 on Auburn, and then here comes Florida State back. They win by 3 at the end. And I knew they were going to win the game because I had a vision on it. I get visions. I'm very psychic, as well as a high IQ and a high football IQ. I'm very psychic. I get feelings. And I know when teams are going to win, such as Alabama over Ole Miss. I know it sounds strange. I don't know why. I'm just very kind of powerful in that way. I had a vision that Winston was going to have a rose in his mouth like this, for the cameras when they interviewed him, because they always interviewed the quarterback, and I knew Florida State had won the game, and so they win it at the end. I win 2,100 on all my 11-team teasers, the 10-team teaser, and I win the 1,000 on Auburn plus 11. I had a 10-point, actually an 11-point trap, because if they win by 11, it's a tie. I get my money back on the straight bet, and even on the teaser. If the teaser ties, I don't lose the teaser. It drops, 11-team teaser drops to a 10-team teaser. So there I am. So I double up, and I win 2,100 on that and 1,000 on the trap. It was a beautiful, beautiful night. I ran to Vegas for the Super Bowl, and I cashed in the money. It was like 1,000 at a time. I took out a few tickets, give me $1,000. And it was just nice to walk into the Caesars and cash, and then cash again, and cash. And I didn't want to get a 1099, so I didn't want to give them all my bets at once, and then they say, oh, we got a 1099 you. So I don't know the limit or if they do on football, but that's what it was. So that's basically the story, and that's basically 100% true. I can show you the tickets, because I made sure I took pictures of them, and basically. That's the best way to trap if you can, because you're only betting 20 or 30 to win 600, let's say. So when you're betting 20 or 30, so that's why so you bet 300, you're only risking 20. And so if you lose the teaser, you win 300, you lose 20. If you win the teaser, then you win 600 and you lose 300, but you still win 300. That's the idea of gambling, is to make sure wins, positive wins. It's all about building your bankroll and betting a little bit at a time. I mean, I have people that, oh, I lost the one game and I don't have any more money. And I'm like, how much are you betting? You have a $1,000 bankroll. You shouldn't be betting more than $100 a week. Or you should be betting the 100. The way to really bet is you bet like Thursday, you win. You bet a little bit more on Saturday. If you win the early games, You come back with a little bit more Saturday afternoon and a little bit more Saturday, but you wait and see what happens. If you lose the Saturday afternoon game, then you make a smaller bet Saturday night. And if you lost that Saturday, then you see the Sunday lineup and you bet a little bit on the early game Sunday. If that wins, you press it up a little bit with the Sunday afternoon game, provided you have games that you can bet. That's really the way to bet. You don't just throw $1,000 out there with a $1,000 bankroll and lose and say, well, I'm done. I don't have any more bankroll. What the hell are you betting $1,000 when you only have a $1,000 bankroll? So that's really the key to betting is you bet small. You bet, if I have 1,000, I'm betting $20, $30 a game. And if I win, I kind of bet another one. If I lose, I have a limit. Okay, I'll lose 100. Okay, so I've lost a 20. I've lost a 20. If I really love this game, I'm going to put 40 on it. If I lose that and I'm out my 100, then that's it. That's your limit. You've got to limit your losses. But your key is to build your bankroll. So bankroll's 1,000. Now you risked 100, you've won. And actually now you've actually made it 200 because you started winning during that Saturday and then Sunday, and you got hot, and then your lock wins, and all of a sudden you win 200. But you didn't risk 200 because you're betting little increments as you go. So now you got 200. Now I got $1,200 in my bankroll. Now maybe I'm going 150 next weekend. And then I win that. Now my bankroll's up to 1,500. That's how I do it, and that's how I'm always a winner every year. I have my bad weeks, but I limit the amount I can lose, and then as I go, I'm picking 75% and trapping and all this. I keep going, and now my bankroll, I start with about a $5,000 bankroll, and I get it up to 10, and next thing you know, I'm betting $1,000 on a game, but my bankroll allows me to bet the 1,000. I don't start off betting 1,000, but by the end, I built it up, and then I see this lock game that I love, and I'm betting $1,000, like the Florida State game or the Michigan State Rose Bowl. I told people I'm at Venetian playing poker, and I'm telling everybody at the table, you don't even need the points, just take the money line on Michigan State. I saw a girl in a Michigan State sweatshirt. I says, I bet on you guys. Don't worry, you're going to win. I'd bet on it too if I were you. So they go ahead and they win straight up. That's when you're locked in. That's when you really get it, and you're betting a lot on it. And that's really how you bet. You limit your losses. You can't lose more than you can afford. You can't bet what you can't afford to lose in the first place. So it's loose money. And then as it goes, you build your bankroll, but you limit each week. Most I'm going to do is lose $100 this week. Okay, now I went from 1,000 to 1,500. Now the most I'm going to lose is $200 this week. And I'm not probably going to lose all 200 because I'm going to win some of my teasers. I mean, I have a bad week. I'm 8-3. Teaser King does not have a bad week. He goes 0-8. I've never ever done that in my life. And I've been doing this since the 70s. Never, because I always bet the strong team versus the weak team. And you see a team after a loss, you're jumping on them, the strong teams. And Joe Montana wasn't going to lose. He might lose once. He's not losing twice in a row. The 70 Steelers aren't losing twice in a row. Jimmy Johnson's Cowboys and Jimmy Johnson's Miami Hurricanes very rarely are losing. So you're betting on those guys, and that's really your key. And you're just limiting your loss. But as you win a teaser, now, okay, I can't lose, so I'm going to bet a little. So you win a $100 teaser. You got a $200 bankroll or a $200 loss maximum set up for that week, and you bet $75 on Jimmy Johnson at Miami, and he wins. Well, now I can really lose $275, and I won the 75, so I can that'll still keep me at 200. Now I have some fun, and I pound the Sunday action, and that's really where it gets in. Or I really get off. And one week, I remember one week, this is Mark Herman was playing for Purdue, and it was somebody's lock, and I go out at halftime, and I was working, and it was 45-0 Purdue at halftime over Iowa, and I had bet Purdue large, and that weekend I won $1,700 because I won every single bet. I was 17 for 17. So as I won the first one, I bet back the second one, and And as we went through the day, and I hit every freaking game. It was unbelievable. But then that shoots your bankroll up, shoots your confidence up, and off you go. I get on hot streaks like that all the time. So I do get a little offended when people are like, "Oh, you picked a loser," and I'm like, "Okay, I know I come across very confident, and I am, and I know I pick a lot of winners, which I do. But when I have one or two losers, relax. You got to look at this as a whole year. You can't look at 1 month or you can't look at 1 week and go, well, you lost, so therefore I'm not. I'll wait till you start winning. You're going to miss the boat because this week I might get hot and run the table. Because in the whole picture, I'm going to run the table several times, but I can't tell you the week. This week looks like the time I'm going to run the table because I'm looking at all these games and they're perfect. They're perfect, just what I like to do, strong against weak, good quarterbacks against weak quarterbacks. I'm picking games. They're all lining up in all the conferences, the pros, everything. So that's what I mean. You can wait. You're going to miss this week. I'm going to run the table. Now you come back with me. And you expected me to run the table the next week. Well, no, I ran the table because I had the table to run this week, but I might not have the table to run next week. It might be totally different matchups where strong plays strong, weak plays weak, and I don't have a pick. So I'm very disciplined, and you got to be too. So, so that's what happens once you get the feel of it. I've run the table. Like I said, in my locks, I was at one point 30-1 on my locks last. I was hitting 5 a week. And you can go back and look at my videos. They're there from last year. You can go to my history, go back to about week 3 or 4, and then just keep going forward, and you'll see locks, 5, locks, 5-0, locks, 5-0, locks, 5-0, all the way. Thanksgiving, 5-0. Had Carolina over Dallas, Ohio State over Michigan. Hit them all, everything. And there's people in Vegas that I made a fortune for. So anyway, that's some just basic logic of teasers, advantages of traps, how to bet, how to limit your losses. It's really how to gamble. You gamble to win, and you gamble to increase your bankroll. The higher your bankroll, the more you can afford to lose, the more you can bet, the more you can win. Blocking your losses. So, okay, all right, if I lose everything, I've lost $200, I'm still fine, and off you go. And then you wait, because every week there's good games, so you don't want to kill yourself. Bet everything on one game, it loses. And then you can't bet next week, you don't have the money, or you're all stressed, or you're yelling at your wife, and then the next thing you know, you don't have any money, and here comes this golden game, Denver getting points with, I don't know, Pittsburgh getting points, or New England getting points, and you can't bet it because you don't have any money because you wasted it. You made one big pick. Don't be impatient. Just wait for it. All right, everybody, that's Teaser King's Master Lessons for you. I'll be happy to, as I come up with them, bring out more. But it's really to make you winners. A lot of people I find when they gamble, they either don't want to be a winner, they enjoy being a loser, or they just have no concept of how to win, how to make a bankroll, what a unit is. I mean, it's amazing. And so that's why they lose, because they don't even know what they're doing, and you can't do it. It's like driving a car and you don't know where the steering wheel is. Don't do it, but you got to understand it. So I hope this helps everybody. All right, www.teaserking.com. This is going to be a beautiful week. I already hit 3 games yesterday. I had Houston in a revenge game, Texas Tech over weak Kansas, Cincinnati after a loss, using different methods. Cincinnati's a good play at home anyway, and the Dolphins stink. So basically, those were not difficult plays, but that's the way the whole week's shaping up, just like that. All right, everybody, enjoy, make some money. This is a good week to buy from me. And I'll say it's a bad week to buy from me. You'll hear me. You've heard it on other videos. I don't have a lot. This week I got a lot of good plays. All right, everybody, have a nice night.